I think it's a great point, and it connects to something that that's very in my daily life. That is education and the focus that I see nowadays on academia or from the students. And uh, I shouldn't say from the students because it's actually a culture that we as lecturers implement. Is this complete focus on marks?
Yeah.
Like and the common answer that I get when I try to propose something different is that, oh, we don't know how to do anything different, as if it was an answer for accepting a system that's not working. Like we are academics, we are researchers, and these people on Twitter or Facebook, they have lots of resources and brilliant minds. They should be thinking about, and maybe they are, I don't know anything about what they do internally, but they should be thinking about metrics like those that you're saying, like, or at least have some research people doing that, and trying to understand. Because for me, the comment saying, "Oh, we focus on marks because that's what we can do," is not enough, or it's not enough anymore. Like we see, it's kind of frustrating to realize that university education, is becoming more and more like a uniform approach where courses have a set of slides. I'm talking about STEM courses, right, or mathematics or engineering. You have a bunch of slides, you have a set of exercises that the students must know, and the whole semester revolves about assigning a mark to the students. And I think my frustration became really apparent when I took, at the same time that I was really involved in teaching in a university, and of course, under this scheme that I have to give a mark to my students, at the same time I was taking the Tiago's course, where the goals are really open-ended, and you define your goals and you define what you want to get out of this course. And so the contrast was so huge,
Yeah.
and I could see, like and the answer that I get is, again, it's always like, oh, but if you don't do marks, if you don't do exams, what else are you going to do? And there are things that we can do, and but even if they were not, it's not a good enough answer not to keep doing what we are doing just because we don't know how to do better. Well, let's try, let's explore,
Yeah.
let's you know sorry for the rant. That was my
No, I
frustration.
have I have similar thoughts about education. It's so frustrating to everyone loves to learn things when they're a child, right?
Mm.
And at some point in the educational process, we all kind of lose that spark of wanting to learn and explore things, and I hate to see that happen to more and more people.
Yeah,
What?
and it's a dog biting its tail.
Mhm.
Like I tried to do things differently, and I got a lot this semester, or these 2 semesters, with online teaching. It's interesting because uh, we got an email from the university administration on a Wednesday or Thursday saying that from Monday on our course is going to be online.
Mm.
Basically, we had 2 days
Yeah.
to change a course that was face to face to online teaching, and that was stressful and everything. But that also meant a lot of freedom. You
Yeah, it was a
basically do
chance to try
whatever.
something new, right?
Yeah, and I did do that. Of course, I jumped into the opportunity of doing things differently, and I got a lot of. I might say that I got a lot of positive responses from students.
Good.
I got email from students saying that what was keeping them going during the quarantine was the thought that they had my course to take,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
things to learn. That was great. Uh, and I say that first because I want to say that I got a lot of negative response from students because they missed the structure.
Hmm.
They were focusing on the mark, and in order to get a good mark, it's important to know the structure that you're going to be evaluated in, and not providing that structure brought a lot of stress as well. And I tried to convince them that the experience was much more important than the mark itself.
Yeah.
And the answer that I got, that I completely understand, and that's why I say the fault's not with the students, was that, well, that's well said, that's very beautiful in theory, but in order to get to the masters that I want to do,
I
I
need the
need
marks.
70%. In
Yeah.
order to get somewhere, and I said, yeah, you guys are right, with one thing. And that was the conclusion that I got the night before my last live lecture with the students, which I thought it was amazing to finally have that feeling in the end of the subject, was that I realized that a lot of students, they wanted good marks because they wanted to find a good job and be rich, or whatever their plan is. Like, be rich, I'm simplifying things. But let's focus on the next step, find a good job. I actually have the realization, and a lot of these students would not engage because, well, what I was doing was not directly related to the marks that they're going to have. So why engage?
Yeah.
But some students did, and they showed up. They showed their cameras on the Zoom meetings and stuff and stuff. And the day before the last lecture, I actually thought, and I had this realization saying, you know what? Every semester I get 5, 10 requests for references. And out of these, a lot of calls, I get a lot of calls from these companies asking me to provide these references.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually realized that, and I told my students, and that's the good thing about trying to be transparent, is that you don't have to hide anything, or because you're really saying what you think. So I was telling them, all these guys, all you guys who are so worried about marks and never show up to the live lectures and never show up to the conversations that we had, if you ask me for a reference, I will do that, of course. But all I can say about you is that you took my course and you had an 80 or 85. In comparison, those who were not so focusing on the marks and who showed up to the live lectures where we are not really focused on the exam questions, we're just having conversations and stuff, and those who engage in the platforms that I created and stuff, I'm going to be able to say so many more things. And I think that is actually what's going to help you get a good job,
Yeah.
not
Hands
the
down.
mark. So, I think we are playing a game, but we don't even understand the rules of the game we are playing. So, yeah.
Yeah, again, it's like that the mark is easy to understand, but the networking effects of getting a good reference are not easy to measure, right?
Yeah.
So people
And
neglect it.
because of this, we focus on the thing that's easy to understand, as if there is this nice joke about this. It's more an anecdote than a joke. The guy is looking for his keys below a lamppost, and someone says, "Oh, can I help you look for the keys?" Yeah, please help me. Did you lose them around here? No, I lose them over there. And why are you looking here? Well, because over there it's too dark.
Yeah.
Like, wow. That's
exactly.
That's a bit what we are doing, but it's,
it's tough. Like the students are in the system where, like you said, if they want to apply to a grad school, they're going to look at the mark, and if they don't hit that mark, they're going to get thrown out automatically or something, right? And all the way from like middle school, at least here, like we were always taught, like, you got to get good grades, or you're not going to get into a good high school, you're not going to get into a good college, you're not going to get into a good master's program. And that
exactly
that mark focus is so prevalent and all throughout education. It's really frustrating.
And that was actually my big frustration, was not of the students, was trying to convey, when I had this kind of feelings and thoughts, trying to convey to my colleagues and having the same kind of response, like, no, we should focus on marks because there is light over here.
Yeah.
Even though if the keys are over there, it doesn't matter.